Okay, in this video, we're going to talk about what to do if you bought MSTR above $400. So I was going through social media. I noticed a lot of you have a higher purchase price of 410, 420. Maybe you got into MSTR, okay, during last year's bull run, and you bought up near the all-time high, or you bought any of these peaks. So if you bought in at over $400, that definitely means you were buying into mass hype. So we're going to talk about some of the strategies that you can use until the price basically goes back over $400. Now, I do believe that this is going to happen soon because, we take a look here, we draw a point here, okay, which was the pivot point that I mentioned in a previous video. I believe that's the pivot point for MSTR. And that also coincides with a change in the RSI. So the weekly RSI went from 40 to 42. So these are things I like to see. So we're going to talk about what you can do in the meantime until you wait, because I truly believe that the price is about to move parabolic. We just saw the first day, the major movement from gold into Bitcoin. So things are starting to look extremely bullish. I noticed a lot of volume and interest on the call options. Okay, as the price moves up, more people are going to start talking about MSTR. You're going to see a lot of traffic on social media and things like that. But that might not happen right away. Okay, it might take a few weeks for that to happen. So let's talk about some of the things that you can do in the meantime to kind of lower your cost basis and to make things easier. Because right now, if you bought at $400, you're down at least 30. You're down probably about 25% or more. Some of you are down even more in your shares. So let's talk about a couple of things you can do. And you can also learn all of these strategies in my ebook, MSTR Options Cash Flow. It's $49. I'm going to be updating it. I update the book, try to update it every month as I learn newer things. So you're going to also learn some of these tips in the ebook as well. So if you want more of a comprehensive overview of options trading, pick up buy the ebook. It's only 25 pages long. It won't take that long to read, and it'll kind of explain things better, use diagrams. So here we go. So what's going on here? Well, okay, so if you bought MSTR over $400, this is not financial advice, but this is something that you could use. So I do believe the price will hit $400 by 2025, so you don't necessarily have to panic, but there are a couple of things you can do in the meantime. The first one is to use the wheel strategy to generate income. So the wheel strategy is basically selling slightly out of the money cash secured puts. Then you get executed on those cash secured puts, and then you're going to sell covered calls on your shares. And then once your shares get called away, you're going to basically buy them back in the market, rinse and repeat. Okay, so this is like a three-pronged strategy. A lot of people use this to lower their cost basis and to get more shares cheaply. Okay, another thing you can do, let's say you already have the shares in possession, right? So you don't necessarily want to acquire new shares. You're just focused on your existing shares. Maybe you spent all of your savings, or you're already all in and you don't have any extra money to buy cash secured puts. Well, you could sell out of the money covered calls to lower your cost basis. Now, you definitely want to try to sell covered calls with at least a delta of like 20, so you're generating some decent premiums, okay? And I talk more about this in my ebook, MSTR Options Cash Flow, on how to find the best premiums, because if you don't sell them, if you sell them too far out of the money, you're not going to generate enough premium, but if you sell them too close to the money, your shares are going to get called away. And then another thing you can do is long calendar spreads. So long calendar spreads are some of the tips that I use to generate income on my longer dated options, like expiring at least 30 days in advance on MSTR. So I get paid extra income while I basically wait for the price to move. So I'm going to update the ebook with a section on that, but that's another tip that that I've been doing lately while I just try to make money. Okay. But, these are just some of the things that you can do. You can use those 3 tips there, trading options. Be sure you pick up a copy of my ebook. You'll get 10% off if you grab the link in the pinned comment. So I go more in depth in that, because I don't want this video to go on too long. But let me know if you're interested in some of these options trading strategies. Obviously, it's just easier to buy my ebook. But if you want separate videos on each strategy, let me know. I'll try to do that, because it's hard to cover all of these strategies in depth within, you know, an allotted time limit. I try to keep these videos shorter because everyone asks for shorter videos. Okay, so you know, all these are some of the things you can do. But I would say if you bought at $400, definitely just zoom out and wait for the rotation from gold to Bitcoin. That is happening as we speak, and it's very important because that's exactly what happened last about 5 years ago in 2020 when gold hit an all-time high and the money rotated out of gold into Bitcoin. So that's happening as we speak. Okay, GLD, the gold ETF, is topped out. The Wall Street is taking profits on gold. Some of that money is moving into Bitcoin. Now, not as much as I would like because Bitcoin actually traded flat, but I felt like that sell-off in gold was just the first day. So let's see how things play out. Okay. Now, FOMO will hit once MSTR breaks $400. So be careful selling cover calls too close to the money. Last thing I want to mention about this strategy is if you are selling covered calls, okay, on your shares, I know a lot of you are, and that's a great strategy to generate premium. It's also a strategy I mentioned in my ebook, MSTR Options Cash Flow, how to do that. You need to be careful because there is a potential short squeeze brewing on both Bitcoin and MSTR. Okay, can get liquidated. Okay, if Bitcoin runs, and a lot of short sellers are going to get squeezed if MSTR runs. I do believe this is going to happen, but I don't know exactly when. So I think it's really dangerous if you're selling your covered calls too close to the money. I think it makes sense to be more conservative here. You can only sell covered calls if you have at least 100 shares. Okay, that's a really important thing. So if you have fewer than 100 shares, you won't be able to do this strategy. So, but for many of you out there, I've been reading your comments. I know many of you are sitting on maybe 100 shares, 200, 1,000 shares or more. So just be careful of that because the FOMO is going to be wild. So when the FOMO breaks, that's where you want to be buying calls, not selling calls, right? So, but you know, when I would say when things are kind of choppy or neutral, that's a great place to sell calls. But when we start pumping, and I'll let everyone know, just subscribe to the channel so you can figure that out. I'll let everyone know once the price starts pumping exactly where we'll be moving. So to do all of this, you just need options enabled on your brokerage account. For most of these strategies, you just need level 2 options enabled, and for long calendar spreads, you're going to need level 3 options enabled. Okay, for covered calls, you only need a level 1. So just talk to your broker, make sure you have those options open up. That's probably the best thing that you can do if you bought too high. If you're not going to use options, you can't do anything but just hodl. There's not really any other strategy that you can use to generate yield or things like that. We're going to talk about some of the other preferred shares in MSTY. I know a lot of you are holding MSTY. You want to generate yields. We're going to make a different video on that. But right now, I just wanted to focus on some of the things that you could do if you are down 25% or more in your position. So just hang in there. I'm about to wrap this video up. I don't want to go on too long about this. Let me know if you have any questions. And be sure to join the MSTR Investors Club and join our private Discord chat where we talk amongst each other about strategies we're doing, trading options, and where we think the price is going. So if you want to reach me, I am sometimes it takes me a while to respond to the comments on YouTube because I receive so many of them. I try my best to reply, but if you need to reach me like as soon as possible, I'm pretty much on the Discord all day long. So join the MSTR Investors Club to get in contact with me the easiest way. It's only $20 a month. So I'm going to wrap this video up. Hope everyone out there is doing okay. The rotation from gold to Bitcoin is just beginning. Usually takes about 90 to 100 days to play out. So I would say just hold off for these next 3 months. It should be pretty bullish. I'm going to wrap this video up. Hope everyone enjoyed my content and see everyone in the next one. Take care.